In the mountains, the snow still coming down this morning, and it's been falling for days. That and high winds have been causing a lot of problems along roads in the high country west of Denver. Our man of the mountains, Matt Renew, is in Silverthorne this morning. Matt, how's it looking out there this morning?
Jordan, maybe some good news happening just right now. We just heard Erica talking about some of the roads in the mountains, but just happening within the last few minutes, they started allowing staggered traffic flows here along I-70 out of Silverthorne. It's been closed all night, eastbound I-70 at Silverthorne going up to the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnels. Step out of the shot and you can see they've got some cars now moving on to the on-ramp here on I-70. They're a little backed up as people get onto the interstate, but there is traffic, or there was traffic, flowing eastbound along I-70 with a reopening, at least right now, to let some traffic go. We don't know if that's official yet, but traffic is moving up onto I-70. And so that's the first time that's happened in hours. A lot of people have been waiting all night here in Silverthorne for the interstate to reopen. And just as I saw traffic start to go back up towards the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnels, now it seems to have stopped right here at Silverthorne, but maybe some movement along the interstate. This has been a lot of snow, a lot of wind, and a lot of weather in the high country over the past couple days. This is one of the busiest holiday weekends of the season for the ski areas around Summit County and over into Eagle County, and it comes right when a lot of snow just started hammering the hills up here, with Vail reporting around 17 inches of snow over the past 2 days. Copper Mountain, about 22 inches of snow in the past 2 days, 15 of those inches just overnight. And here in Silverthorne, around 12 to 15 inches of snow. The wind continues to blow. Obviously, we had that avalanche up on Berthoud Pass yesterday, and so those conditions are pretty bad up there too. You can probably expect to see a number of safety closures over the next several days as CDOT starts assessing those hillsides around I-70 and other mountain highways to determine whether or not they're safe and whether or not they need to do avalanche mitigation. They're probably going to be doing a lot of that because of all the wind loading that we've seen. So Jordan, it's still a mess in the mountains. I had thought we had good news, and then I turned around and nobody's moving. They just started to get going, and then everybody stopped. So we'll see what happens over the next 20 minutes or so, but at least some people got out of Silverthorne and started making their way eastbound along I-70.
I think that's a perfect example, though, of just how quickly the situation can change, especially up there in the high country. Unfortunately, Matt, not welcome news for a lot of people that thought they were going to have a relaxing long weekend and now have to try to get back to the city.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a great holiday weekend usually to come up and enjoy some powder. This one has been extremely difficult for people driving, and this is probably, just as you mentioned, a good indication of how fast things change. I think CDOT spent most of the night clearing the interstate, trying to get that eastbound interstate, which is a little bit steep if you're familiar with it, why it likely closed down with low visibility. Just got it cleared, and then they allowed cars, and then those cars probably just got stuck, and now everyone's waiting it out again.
Yeah, and we hear that wind whipping this morning against your microphone, Matt. All right, be safe up there, stay warm. Thank you, my friend.
He has icicles on the back of his head.
It's cold up there, yeah.
Yeah. Right now, avalanche danger is high. The possibility of an avalanche happening became reality yesterday morning when an avalanche on Berthoud Pass buried several cars. Donnie Ransom is the deputy chief of Fraser Winter Park Police and says avalanches are a common occurrence during this time.
If we get a large volume of snow and we haven't had snow for a long time, it's pretty common that the roads will, that we will get slides up on the pass. Once again, the slides that we usually get usually cover a lane or two. It's a pretty routine occurrence. If cars are trapped, it takes a little bit longer. If cars are not trapped, then usually CDOT can get up there and get the lanes cleared pretty quickly.
But cars were trapped. Take a look at this video. A Cherry Creek School's teacher was caught in this mess. Caitlin Punzelin, her husband and friends were able to safely climb out of their car after it was covered in snow.
Luckily, there was a barrier in between the road and the mountain, which I think really took the brunt of it. Otherwise, I think that it would have completely pushed our car to the other side of the road.
She said it was 3/4 covered. They were able to get out and start digging the car out, and then other people helped out as well. Caitlin's group was heading back to Denver after a weekend tubing in Granby. Again, CDOT says Berthoud Pass still closed. The Grand County Sheriff's Office is telling travelers stuck on the wrong side of the pass to go to the YMCA of the Rockies in Granby. Right now, it is so cold in Denver. Many homeless people are taking advantage of the city's warming shelters, and they're almost at capacity.
Yeah, 9 News reporter Courtney Eunice following the story. And Courtney, the city is now actually expanding to other facilities facilities.
Yeah, that's right, Jordan and Corey. With the frigid temperatures out there, cold weather shelters are currently open 24 hours a day in the city and county of Denver. That includes the Denver Navigation Campus, which used to be a DoubleTree, and New Directions, a former Best Western. Both will be open until 10 a.m. tomorrow. There's also buses available from 6:30 to 9 p.m. tonight to take people from the St. Francis Center to these shelters. Recreation centers are closed today because of the holiday, but the city says the Glenarm Recreation Center will open today from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. as a warming shelter. The Colorado Coalition for the Homeless says they've been sending outreach teams to help get people inside and out of the dangerous cold.
We really need more options for people, even if they just come in for these really cold nights. That's going to be a lifesaver for some individuals.
The city says it will evaluate the forecast and whether to extend the cold weather shelters even further tomorrow.
All right, Courtney, thank you.
Looking live outside where we're dealing with frigid temperatures, and while most kids don't have school today, more than 24 schools have already closed tomorrow. That includes Westminster Public Schools and Adams County School District 14. You can keep track of any weather alerts and closings all week long as we deal with this cold snap. Just download the 9 News app or stream us on 9 News Plus. Today, firefighters say there is a chance a gas smell could return to the metro area. Fire officials and 911 dispatchers spent yesterday answering calls from concerned residents.
Yeah, a lot of people really worried about this, but firefighters are saying that it's harmless, and we have the cold temperatures to thank.
Sour. It just smelled sour. It was very pungent and concerning, of course.
Devin Park got his family out of the house and called 911 yesterday morning, one of dozens of calls about a gas smell. XL Energy blamed the smelly morning on a sewer problem. South Metro Fire thinks it's coming from gas meters on homes.
They will essentially burp natural gas to make sure that that pressure is regulated properly. So if we have an inversion that's hanging over the city and these gas meters are doing what they're supposed to be doing, but that inversion is trapping the odor, it just kind of hangs out around us outside. And that's probably what's happening today.
Firefighters say if you smell gas, make sure your meters are working correctly. But if the dial on that meter is spinning or you hear a hissing noise, firefighters say you should get out of the house and call 911. Now, the cold weather this morning is also impacting flights out at the airport this morning. Cancellations are already rolling in. Over 300 flights are already called off. That includes 35% of Southwest's schedule. Meanwhile, nearly 600 flights ended up delayed yesterday, and more than 260 others got canceled. More than half of Southwest's scheduled trips through Denver ended up canceled or delayed.
And one thing you want to know about the weather, we have one more day in the Arctic air. We're going for a high of just 2 degrees above zero for today. 45 would be normal for this time of year, with 19 the normal low, 68 the record high from 1912, and the record low 20 below from 1888.
Ed, thank you. Right now, we're following some problems in the mountains. Like Matt Renew was just talking about a little bit earlier in the show here. He saw that there was some movement again on eastbound I-70 from East Frisco to Loveland Pass. Now, that full closure has lifted on CDOT's end. We're still going to continue to monitor that. It does appear that things are back open, but it's still a very slow ride in that area, and it may not stay that way. Loveland Pass is still closed between I-70 and Montezuma Road. There are, of course, several active chain and traction laws along the whole I-70 corridor. Don't drive that way right now if you don't have to.